This is the Zac Anesbury Show.
Welcome. Today's podcast clip comes from an interview with Professor Scott Koslow from Macquarie University.
And in fact, I think I get along best with the account planners, and I talk the same language as account planners. At one point in time, I was doing a sabbatical at Saatchi & Saatchi in New York, and I think they kind of were hoping that I'd sort of ask them for a job.
Oh, really?
They were certainly trying to hire a lot of my PhD students. There was one PhD student in particular. So the global HR had sat me and him down in the office, and I started asking him all sorts of questions about what he wants to do and where he wants to go and so forth. And it's like, yeah, I know what you're doing. You're trying to recruit one of my sort of budding academic stars to go into account planning for you. And if the student was interested in it, that would certainly be a very good thing for the student to do. But yeah, my wife and I briefly talked about, should I try an account planning route with Saatchi's, because they drop hints, but it's like they kind of know you're an academic and you got it pretty good, so you're probably not going to consider it. It would have been a huge amount of money more. But I think the thing for me, why I didn't want to go down that route, is, let's say I was doing an account planning role, okay? Well, if I made a mistake and we lost an account, 50 to 100 people would lose their jobs. And I didn't want that. That's a lot of stress.
Yeah, huge pressure.
To whereas in academia, what's the worst case scenario? I get a review from a journal and they say a bunch of nasty things. Honestly, that's not that terrible compared to the guilt of, I stuffed up and 100 people are unemployed now.
Yeah, exactly. So that was one of the key reasons that you decided to stay in academia?
Well, it's also a fun game. We get to do all sorts of things. We set our own pace, decide what hours we want to work, what we want to focus on. Honestly, we only have a few hours a week in which we have to show up in front of a class, and then we can say anything we darn well choose. And the kids take notes no matter how stupid you are.
I'm laughing so much because it's so true, and I like the way that you're so brutally honest with it. I have to admit, I agree with you 100%. That is one of the beautiful parts about being an academic, and primarily a research-focused academic, which I'm assuming is a large majority of your time?
Yeah. So it's 40% of my time, which is the typical percentage that it is for most academics.
Yeah, and then the rest of the time you sort of get your freedom to pursue what you want. You can, if are you more of a morning person or an evening person?
Oh, it depends. Sometimes I can start writing in the morning and I'm doing pretty good. Sometimes it's sort of like, I don't know where the day went. I was busy with a bunch of things, but I don't really start getting into it until, say, in the afternoon. So it varies quite a bit. Yeah,
but you're allowed, because there's no clock in, clock out, you're allowed to focus when you need to focus.
Yeah.
At various points throughout my career, I've thought to myself, I've been a real morning person, so I've gotten up straight away, I've opened up my laptop, and I'll be writing for 2 hours, and then I'll have breakfast, and I'll go for a run, and then I'll come into work. And that was really a good mindset for me because I felt like I was ahead of the pace. And then at other times, I just couldn't focus in the morning, so I was allowed to work in those evening sort of periods. And I once asked someone, how come there's no, it's not like McDonald's, for example, where you show up to a shift and you have to put in your little unique employee number, or some people have fingerprint scanners. And they monitor our hours. And I thought to myself, well, of course they're not going to do that because they don't want to pay for all of the overtime.
Yeah, there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
Sort of when I was trying to get my research and creativity underway, I spent an awful lot of time on it. But, it's a labor of love. I can't say that if I were doing client work for a New York agency that I'd always say that this stuff was quite the same kind of labor of love. And if I was spending, say, working for an agency and I'd go in on a Saturday to work, my wife would sit there and say, you're not being paid for this. It's one thing for you to be home late on some days of the week from a work day. But no, you are not going into the office on a Saturday. But we do that as academics.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you find that balance now? Because, we all have laptops and essentially our work follows us where we are. Like if we use that McDonald's example again, no one is bringing their work home with them. But we, I suppose, indirectly do, and the temptation is always right next to us. How do you manage your time or your ability to do that?
Okay, I pulled my phone out of my pocket. Okay, I will not put email on my phone.
Okay, so you have no email on it.
I will not put it on the phone. It's on my iPad.
Yeah,
but it's not on my iPhone.
Okay,
and I refuse to put it on there because no, it how do I say this? I've known too many salespeople who you're sitting there, you're having dinner with them, and then they get the phone call. And it's like, for Pete's sake, do you have to answer it? And it's like, but this is a big client. No.
No.
They can wait till tomorrow. At least academics, they can wait till tomorrow.
Hey guys, it's Zac Anesbury here with just a couple of quick reminders. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, then make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. There are plenty more interviews to come with some of the world's leading marketing academics and practitioners. You do not want to miss these. In the meantime, if you're looking for another way to connect, then follow me on Twitter at Zac Anesbury. That is ZACANESBURY for my take on the marketing issues of the day.